Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. Guys, this may turn out to be nothing. Let's hope it is the case. I don't feel that's nothing. It feels very, very significant. So it took forever to get this video uploaded. And over on Evolutionary, we did this one alert. Antarctica anomaly causing massive waves in Atlantic? ET Tech? Cause quakes and possibly tsunamis? Again, of course, everything goes up over on Patreon as well. Well, there's something else that came up, and this is very, very curious as well. What was the name of that channel? Insight? I think it was Insight. I linked the Insight. I did a link on the previous video. I'll put a link again. This one channel has done a great job in catching two very, very curious anomalies. Very curious anomalies. You see this little guy blinking here. This is a buoy in event mode. And this is off the coast of South America. Now, this is right next to one of the deepest trenches on the planet. Actually, it goes down to 26,000 feet. 26,000 feet. And so this buoy is showing something that's almost incomprehensible. It's showing that it lost 2,000 feet of elevation. How could that possibly happen? The only way something like that could happen is if it became untethered and sank. But don't buoys float? I mean, they don't technically usually sink. If it became untethered, wouldn't it just be drifting? Did something pull this thing down 2,000 feet? If so, what would possibly pull this down 2,000 feet? I'm sorry, I keep saying 2,000 feet. These are in meters. 6,000 feet. 6,000 feet. Sorry about that. 6,000 feet. How could this thing move down 6,000 feet? Is it just a glitch? I would say so. I would say this is probably just a glitch. However, the last video we did was another curious glitch on the other side of South America, and that was showing insane wave heights. And then the real clincher for me is what Cindy was feeling. And she was feeling alien technology. She was feeling technology on a par that is incomprehensible to most of us humans.
Well, it had like Anunnaki fingerprints all over it that I could feel, and it felt very large and it felt very dark, and I did go into some explanation over there. And then as I'm looking at this and feeling this, I understand nothing about this, but I am picking up technology above. There's like interferences here. There's interference going on that's not on a human scale that I can feel. I mean, it feels something like very deep, something that I was telling Mike, I said, this really troubles me because with my abilities, things get out of a certain range and I can't explain them. And many of you who do channel kind of understand that. You understand that things get out of your realm of understanding, yet they're there. And this is big and it's dark and there's interference, and to me, it's not natural interference in any way. I mean, sure, it could be a glitch, but what is making it glitch? That's my question, is what's making the technology do this? And I don't think it's anything natural. I don't think it's anything super simple, although I'm sure they're really good with headlines coming out quickly and saying, oh, well, it was just this, it was just that. That's what the media is for, is to cover all of this stuff up. But it seems like we caught something kind of strange, and Mike and I have been feeling like after the eclipse that there could be some things go on that might make things get a little bit darker before they get better. And we're watching this because this is our job. We keep an eye on it. And if something really seems out of place, this is where we hop on and talk to you guys about it so you can make necessary adjustments.
And the other anomaly was right across from this, in an area right across from this in the Atlantic. For those that follow us regularly, first off, thank you guys for being on the ride with us. It's a pleasure to ride the apocalypse with you guys, and this is the unveiling. And again, recently the guide said it's not going to be hidden. Everybody will know who the real controllers are at some point in time within 3 years, but really it's already awakening. When you see this, I just gotta wonder, one anomaly over here showing massive waves out of nowhere and also actually showing signals coming from Antarctica. That's a kind of a giveaway. And again, do watch that video. I won't redo that entire video now because I'm focusing over here, because what I expect, and I've shared with you guys, is that I expect that we're going to see the U.S. invaded in a Red Dawn scenario. But before that happens, the U.S. is going to go through quakes, massive quakes, or massive, what looks to be possibly natural events that you won't be able to tell if it's natural. Was it, as I've been saying, I've said this so many times, La Palma going off? Was it the Helena slump? What exactly happened? Or was it tsunami bombs by the Russians and the Chinese? We're not going to know. Why aren't we going to know? Because it's going to be a blurring of the lines. And also, I do think we're going to all of a sudden have the grid go. And at least in our country, we will experience intermittent periods of time that may last weeks or months with no grid, no communications, or sporadic communications. It was interesting. I was out in between the two videos that we put up, and I was throwing the ball for Rama because he was such a good boy all day. And I'm picking up this signal in my right ear. It's such a high-pitched signal. I feel like it's technological again. I do think that what we're watching is they're moving everything into place. Now, this is my perception. Cindy doesn't see it from that side as much as I do, but then she never sees the war side of things like I do. It's just why we blend so well.
Yeah, I mean, what I don't see is I don't see massive catastrophe. I see things getting bumpy. I see things getting difficult. I see things getting hard to handle for some, but also pulling itself back into alignment. But I don't see the major catastrophe, whereas I think Mike has been so deeply affected by it in certain lifetimes. He can see it. It's nothing that he can ignore or turn away from. Just like I'm a little different in the sense of how I see evil and how I feel evil. I cannot ignore that and I can't turn away from it, but I still have a hard time when it comes to really big tsunamis, things of that nature. I have a hard time seeing it, but that does not mean it cannot happen. We're all just a little bit different, cut from a slightly different cloth, and that's done deliberately. I mean, we're sitting here, we're watchers, we're watching these things with you, for you. However, but this is our calling, this is our job, and we see something that's sticking out, and we're supposed to. Our instinct, intuition says, hey, people need to know this. So I think it's good that we see things from two different perspectives. It gives you the ability to kind of stand back and decide for yourself, which is that's important to me, is that people see for themselves. I don't want to be the one telling anyone anything. That's the last thing I want to do. But I do want to help people see what they need to see for themselves.
So what this is showing, a drop of 6,000 feet. Now, the buoy dropping 6,000 feet. If that was a 6,000-foot tsunami, prayers to... Yeah, there would be a lot more going on, and we'd be just sending prayers to everybody in South America at that point in time, and globally as well. So I don't think it's a 6,000-foot tsunami, but I do think there's technology in play, and I feel very, very much that they are positioning themselves to again deliver what we will think. Maybe something really natural. We just had the eclipse. We have the comet. There's technology in play that again is alien. It just plain and simple. This is alien technology because ultimately your deepest deep state is not Homo sapiens. They are still the ones that we would call the Anunnaki. And those that we call the Igigi are the ones that came over, and they're the quote unquote lesser gods that have been ruling in the shadows, or not even so much in the shadows. This area here, again, the Peru-Chile Trench, as you can see, it runs all right through this area, is where, and this is key too, the Nazca Plate, it's a subduction zone. So the Nazca Plate under the South American Plate, this is huge. This is really, really huge. So, what we're talking about is, and I just can't, I just feel it's a massive event that's coming, an event like we have not seen in our times. Yet I do totally think they are triggering Cascadia, San Andreas, and New Madrid. And maybe why I've always thought that is because I've seen everything from a USA-centric, America-centric point of view. But I do think also, you could look to Casey's prophecies where he says Europe will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. His timing was way off, but still it doesn't mean that the overall picture won't eventually work that way. It could be generations in time different than what he had thought. Again, time is different when we're outside of this physical body. It's completely different. In fact, it's kind of an illusion of sorts, because that's the only way we can manage things in this body is with the perception of time that we do have. So I think this is, I feel like this is a major marker. And it doesn't mean that we're going to see stuff right today, tomorrow. But I do think by the time we roll in the summer solstice, things are going to be radically different globally, radically different.
We'll have to wait and see. And I too, I feel technology, and I have felt technology for a while, and it's just curious how it's manifesting here now. We'll have to see what happens, but yeah, this is kind of curious. We're watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the interesting thing too is the other channel. Again, I'll give you a link to his channel. He's done an awesome job at covering this stuff. He was noting how it seemed like they were erasing the data on the Antarctica anomaly, which clearly looked like signals coming in and causing some sort of disruption. Massive signals, like
it's gone, right?
No, it was still showing, but it's like they're erasing it in real time, because it was showing in different timelines.